One medium, you, your mind. He can only work that way. Ah, yes, whatever this is. The devil lying in the chair. What's he trying to do with this? Ah, thank you, Jesus, anyway. He's only could do one thing. To try to destroy us. Through what? Through how you think up in your mind. Can you hear me saying? Children, the way the devil tried to work is through the mind. He tried to cut you down through how you think, what you think about. Does that make sense? And the devil does not want anybody down in there in his areas, probing around, making you change your thoughts. That's why he lodges. He finds a place. As Bishop say, don't give a place for the devil. Don't give him a place. Once you give him a little spot, he'll work there. That devil did not want you to get this information. This is the day and the age of information. Right? It's a computer, the 21st century age. And if we don't have the right information, our little mind cannot compute. So we got to download today. We're downloading from the Holy Ghost. We're going to put something from our hearts and Jesus' hearts and mind, from the eternal God's heart and mind, into your mind and heart and spirit. Isn't that all right? We're almost ready to go home. Today, you're going to feel so light. We're going to be in here and out here. It's not going to be heavy. From now on, we're going to feel something new. I know it's changed. I know. Now, I'm not even guessing. I know what has happened. We broke through. Or better yet, he broke us through. He broke us through. Jesus broke us through. His last pitch battle. He put up a last pitch battle to get rid of somebody. I know the last time I prayed, I said, Lord, rid me of strange children. I want everybody out of here that you know is not right. But keep everyone that is right. And so consequently, after that, the devil's going to go after you with all might. Because he wants you to get in the lineup to give up your own self. Because Jesus is not going to get rid of you. Praise the Lord, saints. Yeah, okay, listen here. Oh, just scratch me something. Rid me, rid me of the opposition called discouragement. Self-hurt, self-sorry, the enemy who's trying to come in like a flood is going to get washed out. Thank you, Jesus. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to give you everyone something that is tangible. It's worth more than money in the bank. The most valuable thing that you can get. Listen to what I'm saying. The most valuable asset that you could have in this life at all is something for your mind. Everything relates back to your mind. If you had $1,000 today, everyone given $1,000, only thing that can happen is that present of that paper money will have an effect on your mind. It will tell your mind a lot of things. Ooh, I got $1,000. Ooh, I can do this. I can do that. But the end result is still pleasure in the mind. Something has to happen to our minds. Right? Something has to happen no matter what. If we go home and get into bed and go to sleep. If we're tired, something happens with our mind. If we're happy and joyful, something happens with our mind. It's, you know how your heart is important, blood pumping in your body? That mind is so precious. It's so valuable. Your mind. You must, what the devil does not want us to do is strengthen, to make that mind strong. He likes to keep it dull, dim, hard of hearing. Let the mind be hard of hearing so the mind don't hear. Once that mind, the part of that mind where the information goes and it gets processed in, there's a mind, the part of that mind, it goes, what's that? You have a mind, is that mind sitting there all by itself? The mind is the computer just ticking, and that mind doesn't work all by itself. The mind has all type of information that you can process into it. It can hear, it can pull in with the sensitivity of that mind. It's a radar. It can suck thoughts in. It can do all kinds of things. It can bring information into our minds, saints. It could take, someone could talk and say something about another saint, say they're this and they're that, they're no good, or they're such and such, and all the mind can do is hear it. It hears it and it puts it in as a tape recorder. It simply records everything it sees and everything it hears. That mind is recording all the time. The mind, our mind up here is just simply a tape recorder. I'm not talking to your mind. I'm not talking to that mind. The mind is not going to hear it like that. So when that devil talks and he puts it in your mind. He puts things on your mind. And that what you do is reach out and take that information that's on that mind. That's you. When I talk to you, that's your soul. I hit you. I got you. I got you to your soul. I got my hands on everybody's soul right now, so you can grab a hold to it and hear your own soul, hear who you are, all by yourself, individually. Can you hear it? Can you find yourself? Yes. That's why that said, let the word have a free course, because that devil don't want us to get in there and talk to your mind, right in your heart, write the word down in your heart and spirit, so you know how to function. It's from your heart. It's from your heart issues life, everything. Jesus operates from the heart. That's where all the information is processed and worked out. This is where you live and die by who you are. I am that I am. That part of you that is I am. That part of you is the mind of Christ. That part of you which has been baptized into Holy Ghost and been saved. That part. You understand? Can you understand? There's a precious part of you that is separated from just the mind. He comes and he cuts us under the soul, the body, and the spirit. There's different parts of us. And different parts of us have different functions. Our head has one function, our fingers have another function, our feet have another function, our legs have another function. Our feet do not hear, our ears hear. But that's all the ears do is hear. The ears don't see. Right? Your ears, you do not look out of your ears. And you don't hear out of your eyes. So you have separate fragments, separate parts of your system. Up in here. Can anybody see? A little bit? Can you see a little bit? We have separate parts. You got a receiver. You got a part of your mind that hears. When you get your tape recorder, you have a thing, what they call a mixer. You have things that mix all information that comes in. You mix it, you organize it, you divide it, You set it in a certain place. Suppose we got so many things mixed up in that mind that we don't think clear. It all comes and how can you say it? It comes and just mixes all together. This thought, that thought. When you sit down and try to think for 10 minutes, this thought will come in, that thought will come in, disorganized as can be. You can't even control it. You sit down there and try to keep your mind on one thing. Keep your mind stayed on the Lord. I guarantee you can't do it. Your mind's not strong enough to do it. All it can do is that reverberation from that tape recorder. It's just playing back. You hear it, boom, it plays back. Your signal comes out of you and sends there. From your soul, you'll send a signal back from yourself. All you do is have the information up inside there. Somebody's talking about you. Somebody's calling around. But now inside, I want to know who's doing that. And so information will go in and it'll shoot out from part of your soul, part of your other part of your mind. It'll go out and say, who's doing this? Where's it coming from? And then you will reach out into all different parts of that information bank. There's a bank where you pick up all type of information. Who is the person? First, you identify who is the person that's talking about you. All right? This mind is so finite. It's so technical. It has so many aspects to it. You're dealing with the most finest, sharpest, most tedious tools in the creation of God. What are you talking about? The mind of man and the heart of man? Woo! Why do you think we want to shed it from the world? Get it away from the devil. Cut it. Split it. Because that mind and that heart's going to live forever. And if it's contaminated with world, if it's contaminated, we are in trouble up here. This, what I'm telling you, is more valuable than all the silver and gold that you can get. Because if you have a certain type of mind, all them riches will be there. Because there's a feeling that goes along with riches. There's some royalty that goes along with being rich. There's some feelings that can take and disregard all your tribulation, all your bills, all the things that you worry about every day, anybody talking about you in the mind, anything that is not going to be good for you or lovely, honest, good, and report, you can take with that heart, with that spirit, and move it. If you're strong. If you're strong, if you have purified that heart, if you have cleansed that spirit, there's no filthiness in the spirit, your spirit is washed. We need these tools. Soul, body, spirit. We need that spirit to do certain things, to travel. The spirit is traveling. Your spirit, what you are like, the way you operate, it travels all around inside you. It's amazing what happens when you get in the position of that man of God and you have to see all those aspects of one saint. You have to look down there and see all where the enemy's trying to tie him up. Now, when you're going down in your mind, you look at it. Anytime you face to face with any given saint, before a bat of your eyelashes, it tells you who that saint is, what they doing, what they think like, what you think they think like. If you got them marked as a good saint, then the reaction is going to be that. If you got them as somebody on the skids, they don't like me, such and such, you're going to deal with it like that. The rest of you, some other parts of you, are going to reach up and deal with them. If you're living in a house with a person, and the person and you are not getting along because you guys do things different, you think different, you got different ways, all the things about you. I don't like them. I don't like them. Once you have decided I don't like that person, focus. Get that baby together. Get that baby together, because I know you sure don't want to miss this. When you get in that house and he begins talking, you run your computer through. As soon as you look and see, you eyeball that person. I don't want to live around them. I don't want to be around them. Why? Your information bank, it tells you all type of things. How many of those things are tangible? How many times, if you get to the bottom line, you say, well, I don't want them people to be lost. I don't care what they do. I want to see them saved. But we will dwell on the things that they do wrong. That just the thing that they make, the thing that grates up against you, that will play at you. It'll play at you. It'll play at you. It'll play at you. It'll play at you. You'll get stark raving, talk about them. You get on the phone and talk about them. You tell your best friend. You tell your mother, your sister, your brother. You talk whoever you think you can tell will go along with that with you. You'll tell them about that person. How bad they mistreat you. How they did this and how they did that. That thing is talking. Yeah. It's operating. And then you turn around, if you're a real saint, you say, I don't want to see that person lost. When you deal with that man of God, he does not deal with the in-between, all those little things. Those little thingies about a person. A person, they may have a nasty attitude. How does that compute? The only thing it's going to compute, if it computes the wrong way, that means you haven't come up. That's all that means. The way you view that person, it just tells you all about your own self. It tells you how your mind thinks. And we don't even know it. If we don't get watchful in prayer, if we don't look right down at ourselves, then all of a sudden, we'll shy away from that saint. We won't even talk to him. We won't give him the time of day. And then our favorite topic, once we get around a certain group that has been fed this, the ones that agree, we touch and agree. Well, we all don't like the way they act. We don't like the way they do. And so there's a mind going on, a cycle. It's like a record. It's pumping on that person, on that person, on that person, talking about that person. It's not saying, well, what can we do to bring that person up? It's not praying, well, they got this. They have this type of attitude. Let's pray for them that they get built up, that thing works out of them. Because we have come through that. We know what it's like when we used to do that same thing. When we used to have that type of attitude. When we did not know how to live with saints. To walk and dwell with saints. Our minds can be so rigid and so trained a certain type of way, you can hardly get out of trouble. You're bound and live in a bound shape. Woo! And while you're walking, living, being bound, and don't even know it. And when God comes down there and looks at your mind, he'll look at all the things that are in there, but more importantly, look how you have associated and put those things together. Are you hearing right? Are you seeing right? Are you dealing with that right? Does your mind have that saint in the same era, or the same era that your man of God has it? Are you looking at that person with that same view? I never, as a saint, had my own private interpretation of a saint. I never did. I would always seek to see how Bishop dealt with in the open, how he handled that person, what he said, how he was working on him. Listen to him afterwards. He'll talk and he'll tell you what he's thinking about that person. He may say that person is no good in front of you. They're rotten and they're spoiled. Lord help us. If I flip gears, I'll flip gears because I don't want the devil to come in and try it, because he'll walk in. I don't want to come in and just flip us, get us out of order because our mind's in the town. Don't let it take your mind. Don't let this take your mind. If you want to, focus. Look at the door. Look at the door. Look. Wait. So we want, look, stop, see. That's all right. Now we fighting, but stop. Now, get up. If I'm on a roll like this, and the devil wants you to get off, he will do anything he can to get you off, or get me off of this mind that I'm on a roll with. So when we come to service, you try to come in, bring your minds together, and we'll separate these things. And in no time at all, we'll bring that apostle doctrine straight down through them valleys, straight down through them stages. And we begin to look at faith. We'll be able to look at what that heart can do. There's things that we can do in the most powerful parts of us. Don't think it's on the earth and weakly and devilish and weak. It's not. Once we hook in there right and reach in the power of God, that heart and that spirit and the things that we got in us, and we shed it of all what Bishop called junk and garbage, all these things, especially against another saint, and know how to drop it and come to the one goal. I want to see everybody make it. I don't have nothing against nobody. I really don't. It's like I really don't have nothing against them. And then yet you can remember certain things. But they did me this. My husband did me that. Things that we have to do to strengthen that mind. We have to know the anatomy of our mind. The world, the psychiatrists, the psychologists, they don't know how the mind operates. They don't know where it's coming. They don't know when a person is depressed, why they're depressed. What is operating inside that thinking factor to make you feel down? What's happening with that condemner? If your conscience is condemning you, you don't even have to know it's condemning you, and it's condemning you. It's working on you without you even knowing. And lower your self-esteem. If you know some things that are of the doctrine and you're not doing it, if you're not living certain ways that Bishop said live, then certain things are not functioning right in that system. So when we get down there in the area of faith and power, faith, the mind and the heart, it can do anything. It has no bounds. Our body has bounds, so we're used to being in prison. Our body and our connection with our mind and thoughts are inside our body. And because we're mindful of the flesh, we're mindful or carnal-minded. We think carnal-minded. We don't think spiritual-minded. Then we think limited to this flesh. Limited to what we see other people out in that world can achieve. We only think, in fact, if we're poor, we really think right now we think I don't have enough for my job. I can't take care of this. I can't handle this. We limit our whole being to that. We bring it down on that level and look at ourselves and think about our own self as that we're poor. We don't have this and we don't have that, and we'll live like that. People live their whole life and die like that. They never ever get to look up and see beyond that. We got to move ourselves beyond that. We got to move ourselves beyond being tired. Great tribulation. We got to move beyond feeling. Sometimes we feel like, just like natural people, we're tired. We've been going to work. We come to church. We go to work, and we go such and such. I'm tired. I can't make it there. I can't do that. No, that's the limitation that we put on ourselves. All things new and of God. All things new. All things. Once we really renew, but we have to have faith, and that's why belief operates. Bishop tried to teach us how to believe a thing. Once you believe that mind, if you're sick, that body can do a transformation. It can go in there and heal you. And go in there and change even the natural body through the spiritual faith. Yes, it can. But you have to believe it. Have to believe certain things can happen. You work on your belief. Oh, Lord, believe. Help me to believe. Help me to believe. Help me to clean up. Clean up. And with all that cursing that people got, it's in a spot. It fills up in a part of that mind. It fills up with all kind of cursing and negativity, foul communication, anti negativity, full of negativity. It's there. It's connected. It's wrapped up in you. Negativity about everything you do in your life. Everything. About your relatives, about anything. It's all compiled in there. And any given time where you may get your mind on a certain area, and what will that negativity do? See this? See that spray? It'll spray that mind. It'll spray all. Now I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling cantankerous. You may feel tired in your flesh from going to work and getting up and doing things. You get more tired, and then you can feel somebody say something. Worse. It get worse. You get stirred up. You get stirred up. Whoo, that devil. That devil's operating. That devil operating, trying to tear people up. Try to tear them up. God walking, and God tried to put enough spirit on them to come in there and tell lies, to break us down, to break our mind, break our concentration. Rid me of strange children. When you see somebody strange, can't you tell when the devil's walking, when the devil's operating? The devil is tricky. He's tricky, and the devil will want you lost. He's not willing that any should perish. But if the person themselves does not cooperate 100%, first of all, you got to know you wrong. You got to know inside yourself, something wrong with me. I don't have the strength that I'm supposed to have. I need help. I'm sincere. Bishop, will you help me? Bishop, will you fix me up? Bishop, will you get my mind down the line? Not all that thing talking. I know this and I know so much and I got this thing covered. He likes me, she don't like me, they like me, they does something, they something, too, all those things running around in there. That's not even you. Half the time you have things talking down inside of you and it's not even you. It's not even indicative the way you are.